I'll talk a little bit too while he's talking. So yeah, Assel. So yeah, the title is because what is this? Eric is it's mainly he's one who helps to run this particular channel, and then he has guests. Sometimes he'll have me. Sometimes he will have Allan. So it just changes. That's why that main part of the title will stay the same.
Yes.
So,
So the title today is Q&A, Arbitrage Q&A with Eric Abbey, but today you have Coach Allan and Coach Regina. So welcome everybody. This is Allan Urizar, and we're live on YouTube. That's a very good thing. We're very excited. Of course, I'm not Eric Abbey. I'm not Seth Knip, but you guys are seeing this in Seth's channel. And today, what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be helping you in answering questions for arbitrage. If anybody is interested on either learning how to do arbitrage, or if you guys already have an arbitrage business and have any questions on how to scale your business, we're gonna be here for 45 minutes to an hour, helping you guys and answering any questions. So welcome Regina to the live. I hope you're doing
thanks.
okay today.
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here. First time on the YouTube since we started using this Crowdcast channel. And I like the Crowdcast channel. It's actually been really nice. It's I think it's been clear and it's easier to get to, and I hope all the members have been enjoying it as well. So it's good to see you again, Allan. For those of you who don't know, Allan has a special place in my heart. So he's a wonderful person, and he just knows he can answer any question you guys got. So ask away.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, we actually met in Nashville, where Regina lives, and I was coming back from a workshop from a seminar in, I think it was Kentucky. It was a few years ago, and we went with my wife. We went to eat at a restaurant, and we saw a small group of people just working. It was a Sunday morning, and I was like, wow, these guys are working. I'm wondering if they're working on their own business or something, because they had their laptops and they were just chatting and everything. And I'm not I'm very shy. I'm not used to going talking to people outside and everything. But I got the courage to go and ask them, because we kind of heard that they were talking about Amazon. So I went and I asked them, can I take a picture so I can show it in my group? Because we have a group of people that are always learning about arbitrage and selling on Amazon. I see you guys are doing the same thing. So we end up speaking for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes, and then we just left and kept driving because we were coming back to Atlanta. And then a few weeks or a few days later, Regina contacted me through Facebook, and we kind of started the conversation. She joined just one time, and now she's one of the coaches. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, it was just one of those meetings that was just you don't expect, but it was the right place, right time, and look at us, here we still are today, and yeah, pretty good friends, and liked having fun together too. So you got a great group here. I hope everybody's gonna enjoy it. Yep.
Awesome. So I want to welcome everybody. I see there's people joining on the YouTube channel, and we have a few people here on the Crowdcast room. So if you guys have any questions, either way, you can ask the questions, and we'll answer your questions. Of course, Eric is not here today. He's actually traveling with his family, so he asked us to jump in and cover for this week. For him, so we're here. We can help you with any questions that you guys have, and that way we can spend some time with you guys and have some fun talking about arbitrage. Farah says, hello guys, it's good to have you back again. Pablo, nice to watch you again. He says, I found a TV with a rank of 5,000. Which is about a 2% VSR, but without the buy box. Why does that happen? Where do you find that TV? Are you talking about finding that TV on like a retail store? Because sometimes retail stores are gonna sell open box, and there is a lot of people that sell on Amazon, used items or items without the box. But for me, it's not my main business model, because I do want to sell, brand new items. And there's some categories on Amazon that would not allow you to sell anything that is new or out of the box. So there is, when you start thinking about Amazon and everything that you can do on Amazon, there's a lot of different models that you can do on Amazon. Selling used items is going to be one of them, and also selling new items. Selling through FBA, which is one distribution channel that you can use, or selling FBM or fulfilled by merchant, which is a different distribution channel. You can combine some of them sometimes, and that will, that's okay. But for me to build a good size business, it's going to require a lot of inventory, and the best kind of inventory for me, it's going to be new items. So yeah, you can find those items. There's a lot of items that have very low BSR, but if you have something that is out of the box, you're gonna have to list it maybe as a used item, and you might not be able to, if you have one item like that, of course you can sell it, but it's gonna be a used item on Amazon. Have you had any experience with used items, Regina?
Actually, I have. I sell mostly everything I do is all new, but I found a couple of items. I think only less than a handful of items that were used, that were what it was. They weren't used. Actually, the box was torn, so I listed it as used. But I still, when I can write in the comments, when you're trying to sell as used, I wrote in the comments, the item is brand new. It's not been used. The box, however, has been torn and was a little bit roughed up and taped over, and it sold within just a few weeks. It didn't take long to sell. So those types of items can sell. And so it brings up a point when you find something that is brand new and the box is not in perfect, pristine condition, you can still get it, still sell it. In the used section, just make sure you put the comments in there that the product is new, just the box is not pretty. Yeah, it's not perfect.
And I remember the first items that when I started selling, the first items that I sent to FBA, we just started scanning everything that we had here at home. So I sent a few books, used books. We sent a few GPS that we had. We had the box and everything, but we have used them for a long time. And if you see on my background, I like to collect all the empty boxes, because sometimes I buy, I buy things that I use them for a little while, and then I want the new version. So I always have the old boxes, so I can resell them. And I have sold items on eBay and Amazon used, but usually it's because I want to get the new item, the new version. So I just sell that one before I can, before I can buy the new one. So that's how we started. The first few items that we sent to the Amazon warehouse, they were used, and everything was used. And then we started seeing that we could sell, and then started buying brand new items. I hope that helps. Pablo or Juan Pablo.
Also just asked a question there, was following up to what we're just saying.
Sure.
He says, do you sell the used item as a lower price or the same price as new? I would sell it at a little bit lower price, only because the box is not intact. But because I was able to say that it was still a new product, just the box was not right, it sold a little bit higher than what some of the other used one was. You can see different categories as condition that you can choose from, and the price will vary from that point.
Yeah, but usually a used item is going to sell a little bit lower than a regular, brand new item, just because you wanna compete. And especially if there's other people selling used, you want to compete with them instead of the new price, because brand new price is always going to be a little bit higher. Butte Cosmetics says, "Hi guys, good to see you. Sending good vibes from Jamaica. Thank you, and I'm very jealous right now. I want to be in Jamaica right now." Annie says, "Good morning. Happy to see you together. I have a question about Keepa. It's still integrated with Spotify, the app?" No, it's not anymore. They took it out, especially because now the Keepa changed their subscription from free to paid. A lot of people don't have access to that. So the best way that you can still use the Keepa app right now is if you go to your on your phone, of course. If you go to your browser and then you go to keepa.com, once you're at that website, one thing you can do is you can save it as an icon on your phone, and that's gonna create a new icon like it was a different app on your phone, and so you can have access very quick. So for example, now what we do is we go to Spotify, look for the product. Once we have the product, that we scan the product on the app, on the Spotify app, we can actually copy either the UPC code or the async number, and then we just go back to the menu, open the Keepa little icon, which is gonna bring you to the Chrome browser, and then just paste that code and search it, so you can kind of go back and forth and just. I know it's a couple more steps, but that's the way we've been doing it now, because they took it out, and you don't have that access straight from the app anymore. Alvaro says hello, good morning, good to see you guys. Good to see you, Alvaro. George, good morning. Salima, what products do you guys first start with? What will be selling during Christmas? And if you're starting, what will not be gated? I'm gonna show you something real quick. Let me see if I can find it real quick, because I actually have. Oh boy, I don't think I have it with me right now. But oh yeah, it is. I actually have framed the first product that I actually bought and sold. So and you can probably see it right there. I don't know if you see it, but it was actually the first product I sold. It was an Adidas bag. It was just like a gym bag from Adidas. I bought it for $8 and I sold it for $37.99. That was 3 years ago, and I actually framed that because I made $16 profit, but this was the starting point of everything. We just went to the store with my wife, found this, we scanned a whole bunch of items from my house, send it over, and that was the first item that we purchased. So that's a nice story that I always like to tell people, and I actually end up framing this for my for me to remember.
Look at you now, Allan. All that you're doing now, you're worldwide.
Yeah.
That first day.
Yeah, I know. I remember. So for the product, the first products that we started selling were from Walmart, and actually just going to the mall. This product we found it at a mall store. Every store that you go, you do want to start looking for clearance. So we just started. The first thing that we started doing was going just to the regular mall, and we actually found this a regular mall store for $8. But now we have more experience, so we know that the best stores where we find products are going to be all the stores that have discounted products. So for example, if you go to Kohl's, TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls, all these stores, they're going to have a lot of products, brand new products, but at a discount price. And those are the stores that we frequent more. And then Walmart always has stuff that is in clearance. And sometimes we will find like if we go to a Walmart that it's on one side of the town, and then we go to another one, they have different things. So we always kind of go back and forth and just look at the clearance items that they have. Usually that's where we find most of the stuff that we're able to find. And then the other question that he had was, what would you say during Christmas? And then if you're starting, what is not gated? If you have access to, depending on where you are, because if you have access to retail stores, I will try. The way I started with groceries. That's a lot of stuff that I started doing when I was starting up, and so groceries sell very well. Anything that is on the main categories, like for example, home and kitchen for us is really good. Sports and outdoors, and then groceries for when you're starting up. And then one thing that we started noticing was that we started sending shoes, and they started selling, very good. So for me, the niche that I found when I started doing Amazon was shoes. And once we saw that shoes had a lot of sales and they have a lot of profit, we just focus on shoes, and we've been able to sell a lot of shoes, in the last few years. But I know there's that niche is, there's going to be a lot more brands that are gated and things like that. So I would recommend mainly, the main categories, which is going to be home and kitchen, sports and outdoors, groceries if you can. What kind of items do you sell, Regina?
It's interesting. When I first started selling, shoes was not my thing. I did more of the home and kitchen and outdoors, and there were like gardening and things like that. And that actually worked really well for me. So, it's funny, I think, how we each just navigate towards different areas, and that's perfectly fine. And some people will do a little bit of everything. I don't discount or ignore any type of, product, whatever category it is. If I happen to find it and it's good, I will still go ahead and purchase it and list it. But yeah, mine was more of like a home and kitchen and outdoors gardening type of things. So
okay, cool. And Emo's asking if Walmart accepts foreign credit cards. One thing that I will recommend for you guys, if you are outside the U.S., there's three things that you want to have. I think for me, they're very important if you're international. One is try to get an international credit card at your local bank. If you can, if you can find a bank that offers that, an international credit card. The other one is setting up a PayPal and then using a credit card through PayPal, because a lot of stores now, they will allow you to check out using PayPal. So if you're using PayPal, it's a very easy process, and then you just have to have your credit cards connected to PayPal, and they kind of charge you a fee and all of that. But that's an easy way to do it if you're international. And then the third option will be having a Payoneer account. That's another service that is also very good for people that is outside the U.S. When you create it, it's almost like a PayPal account. You create an account with Payoneer, set up a credit card. You can actually deposit money to that account. They will give you a U.S.-based credit card or a debit card with a Visa logo, and then you can use that to make your purchases on any store doing it online. So those, if you can use all three and combine them, that's going to be a lot better. But you can start with one of those and then kind of integrate the other two options if you like. So Saliman says, any products you will advise newbies to stay away from? I don't know. What do you think, Regina? Do you think of any products?
I would say for a new person, I probably would not jump into something that's going to be a health product or some sort of skincare product. Those are going to be the most challenging, because if you're going to go purchase them, those might be your highest risk, because of anybody who buys something that puts it on their skin or they eats it or something like that, or for kids, there's going to be a higher risk of problems going on. So I probably that would not be my first category.
Yeah. For me, it would be a lot. Anything that has batteries, you're gonna have a hard time trying to get it listed on Amazon. That's gonna be the first thing. Anything that has pesticides, like anything for patio or lawn care or things like that. Sometimes you find good items, but they're either restricted, or a lot of people might complain, or you might have issues. So you don't want to start doing those kind of products when you're starting up. I will focus on main things that don't have any batteries, and we've been selling a lot of things from Walmart these past few months, and everything is just the back to school items, and they already, they're already low down on the sales, but we still have a lot of things that we know that people buy, during the whole year, like books and notebooks and things like that. But those are things that you don't have any issues. You don't run into any issues either with Amazon, or people won't complain. If they buy a book and then usually won't complain. So you want to kind of think about those little things and just focus on those at the beginning. Beaut Cosmetics says, I hope I'm pronouncing the name correct, you guys, and I apologize if I'm messing up your names. But she says, I'm a new seller in a category that most items are gated. I'm trying to sell items from my store that I close. I keep getting blocked and need to request approval. My question is, can I list it? Yeah. Cosmetics, that's going to be one of the categories that there's a lot of things that are gated, and you just have the one thing that you have to do is you want to create that sales history on your Amazon account. Once you start getting more sales and start creating that sales history, then Amazon is going to start allowing you to sell more brands. And everybody goes through that process, at the beginning. I remember 3 years ago, it was a lot harder because they will have a whole category closed for sellers. So if you were new, you cannot sell anything on the groceries category or anything on the beauties category. Now, all the categories, most of the categories are open, but now the restrictions happen at the product level or at the brand level. So you still, if you have a lot of products already that you already purchased or you already have from your store, just try to start finding other products that you can sell, build that sales history, and then keep trying to list those products that you already have. Eventually, you're going to start being able to sell those, and then you can, move those units because all Amazon wants to know is they want to see that you're building that sales history with them.
And I can add that too. What Amazon's wanting to know too is making sure that your account is very healthy. So like what Allan was saying, and that goes with picking good products and having the good customer service and making sure that everything you send in is as it should be. Very big, important.
Right. So Pablo says, I found that brand new TV on Walmart doing online arbitrage, and when I go to Amazon, it says available from these sellers, but there's only one with no buy box. If you have that TV brand new, if you can find the brand new from Walmart, yeah, you can sell it. That's not a problem. And if there's nobody else selling it and you can find it at a good price with good profit, that's going to be an advantage for you because nobody else, there's no other seller that is selling a brand new item. So that should be an advantage for you if you can sell that product. Yes. Raul says, I just got ungated for Adidas. However, every time when I scan, nothing is in the Amazon catalog. Does that happen to you very often, Regina?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question. I guess I'm lost here on the list here. Can you repeat that?
Yes. He already got approved or he got approved to sell Adidas, but when he's scanning the products, nothing it's in the catalog already.
Oh, yes, you got approved for Adidas. If for arbitrage, you're wanting to sell items that already have a listing on Amazon, because that's what arbitrage is. You're selling off a previously used listing that already has a good ranking on it. You want your BSRs to be low. If you're finding an item that is maybe in the same category, but it's not listed, you were then going to have to build a listing from scratch, and then you're going to start with a BSR that is extremely high, and you're going to have to try and build that up. But usually in arbitrage, you're only buying that few items, 5 items, 10 items, whatever it may be, or if it's a replenishable, you buy more. You might have time to build that up, but you're not really going to have time to buy it up. That is more related to a private label product where you're buying items by the hundreds, because you could go through several hundred products just to build your BSR to where it needs to have a good ranking. So if I find a product like that is not listed and is not any kind of variation at all, then I won't buy it.
Yeah, usually that happens to us for some products, and usually those I just keep those because if it's not on Amazon and it's not selling well already, because we're on the arbitrage model, we're just piggybacking on already selling listing, we just keep those, and you just keep looking for items. So if certain brands are going to have a lot more items that are not on the catalog, and to me that means that there's still a lot of products that don't exist on Amazon. But I'm not going to go through the trouble of creating the listing and adding pictures and everything, because it's going to take a long time for that new product on Amazon to kind of start selling. So I just want to focus on building my inventory on products that are already selling and that I can find at a good price. So I would just recommend just keep looking for other products. Now that you have that category or that brand open, just start looking for anything that they sell. And you'll start finding good items in there.
Yeah.
Raul says, what happens if I cannot sell the product after 4 months, even when I keep lowering the price? For me, the first thing that I wanna start before I get to that point is, and I've talked about this before in the videos, is I always like to buy products that for me they're high quality. And when I say high quality, I don't mean the quality of the actual product, the brand or anything like that. What I mean is a product that it has very low BSR, it has a high profit margin, and Eric has shared with us, before, items that have 100% ROI, and it's not impossible to find those, but it's not easy. So you kind of have to look for a lot of scan a lot of products. But once you start finding those products and you're sending those, you're gonna be able to compete on the price. But if after 4 months you haven't been able to sell that price, I need to go back to looking at the rank, because maybe I made a mistake and I bought something that had a very high rank. And then I don't want to keep lowering my price just to be able to sell. If I'm doing a good job of finding high quality products, I don't have to do that. So the way that I do it is, the first 3 months, I don't lower my price. I usually put the minimum price that I want to sell is at 40% ROI, and I don't lower any, I don't go any lower than that. After 4 months, then I start lowering the price, and after 5 months, I just want to, get rid of it. I don't care if I don't have any profits, but I just want to recover my investment so I can buy something else. So the way, to answer your question is, if you have that product for 4 months or more, just try to recover your inventory and focus on new products that have very low BSR and high ROI. I hope that helps, Raul. And here's another question from Raul. So he's very active today. That's very good. That's what we want. How fast do you have? How fast do you have to start building and holding toys for Christmas? When do you start building the inventory for toys?
Yeah, for toys is a very unique category, and it's always very explosive during the fourth quarter for sure, because most of the holidays are there for the kids and all. So it's very unique. Toys have not always been my niche, I should say. While I've purchased them and I've sold them, it's not been my sole area. But I will say that there are a lot of toys that you can purchase. Just make sure that they're a good seller. But the most important part is looking at your history, because some toys, as we all know, you have new ones that come out for this season, and of course, and they're not necessarily going to be on sale, but you might buy a little higher price, but then you're still able to make money on Amazon if you're able to get your hands on them. Some things are very exclusive and they only make so many of them, so the price is going to be higher. But you still have a lot of toys you can choose from. Just choose the good ones, the right ones with your ranking and all. And if you are doing great on toys, wonderful. You're going to have the potential where you can sell a lot. I will say with toys that while the prices for selling prices usually are a little bit higher and fourth quarter compared to the previous years, toys could actually be a little bit less. Some of the toys I bought, the prices got lower and lower as you got closer to some of the holidays. So it's sort of the opposite. So you want to be careful of that and just be mindful of it. But also the brand names, because you have a lot of brand, the big brand names from Sesame Street, Fisher Price. And while you may be gated or ungated in a particular item in, let's say, Fisher Price, doesn't mean you're ungated all of Fisher Price, because they just have this, it's just so big. So what I've done is I no matter if I'm gated or not before, if I'm in a store and I still see that Fisher Price item and I know I was gated for, I will still scan it anyway, because someday you're going to do right on your account and you're going to be building up your business, and all of a sudden Amazon's going to say, yep, we're going to let you start selling Fisher Price. So always keep scanning. But yeah, toys are a very unique category. And it's good to know and follow the history. What's good, what's bad, what's popular.
Yeah, for me, when I start buying a lot more toys, it's gonna be in October. All October, I'm gonna be buying toys. But the way we've done it before, and again, in the same like Regina, I don't. Toys is about maybe 10% or 15% of my inventory. But I start buying more toys in October. I try to buy a little bit in November. But everything that I buy, I do want to see a sales history of at least 2 years, because I can see if that toy goes up, in sales and price for Christmas. At least for 2 years, I know that's a popular game and it's gonna go high. All the new toys, for me, it's a little bit risky, so I don't really buy a lot of new toys. But one strategy that we've done a few years, and last year we didn't do it because we were traveling, but the last 2 years we've done it, is we buy toys, October, November, and everything that we buy, we want to see a long sales history using Keepa. But then the day of Thanksgiving, for 2 years in a row, what we did was we worked that day like crazy. The first year we started buying in the stores, because that's the day that what's it called, Black Friday.
Black Friday.
That day you will get a lot of things on sale. So the first year we started working at 10 o'clock. After we had dinner with the family, at 10 o'clock we were at the first store, and then we worked from 10 o'clock. We were buying, and then we came back home. We did we bought a lot of things. We emptied our cart, went back to another store. We end up at 1 a.m. Eating at a IHOP or something like that, and then we came back home. We went back out because there's a lot of people in the store. So we did that the first year. I think we bought like maybe like $7,000 or $8,000 worth of inventory that one day, and everything sold. The next year we did it, which was 2 years ago. We actually started our first store. We were there at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So we actually changed our plans, and we had lunch with the family. 5 o'clock we were there. We probably end up buying like $20,000 worth of inventory. We actually 2 friends joined us, and there was actually 4 people scanning and buying and everything. So we did pretty good that year, but we were focusing only on toys, because that's the day that you're gonna get everything at a very, very low discount. But it's a lot of work. So we probably worked like 12 hours straight. So we did no, actually more, because we started at 5 in the afternoon, work all night. We were coming back home and just unloading the car and then going back. We did like 4 times. And then the last time when we came back home, the last time it was around 9 o'clock in the morning the next day. So, and then it took us about a week to actually process all that, send it to the warehouse. So those are for toys. That's kind of like my strategy. I buy a little bit October, a little bit in November, watching all the Keepa charts for at least 2 years. But then in Black Friday, we just try to buy as much as we can, and a lot of toys are going to be very good in price. So if you can do arbitrage retail, that's kind of like what we've been doing for the last few years. Let's see. And I know you're laughing because Regina, because I probably talked to you a few times when we're out, and it's just crazy. It's just people fighting. We had to fight over, you know, cell phones for $25 and regular price is $200. It gets crazy because there is some good specials.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with them. I've been out with, I didn't do the 36-hour stint like you did though, but yeah, we've been out shopping as well. And I would say a good 12 hours. And to where the truck that my husband and I have was completely full. There wasn't even 1 inch left of putting anything in the truck. Now, what we should have done, maybe a pro tip to you guys, if you're going to go out shopping like that, go rent a van. Go rent a very big van. So that way you can actually have a lot of room to put stuff in. And I remember last year, right after Halloween, we were going to one of our stores we frequented a lot. And there was like this bigger type of U-Haul box truck or something parked out front. And I said to my husband, I said, there's somebody in there buying up all of the Halloween stuff. We just knew it. And sure enough, he came out with 3 carts and it was all the Halloween stuff that he was buying now that he could sell next year. I guarantee he probably sold them all because he was getting everything dirt cheap because he liquidated that store of their Halloween and they probably loved it. So keep that in mind. Just get a bigger truck.
And so we kind of do the same thing like for the big holidays where you get a lot of you know, discounts. For example, you know, the November 1st, you can go and actually buy everything for Halloween that is discounted at, you know, 90% discount because they, you know, the holiday already passed. You know, it was October 31st, and then after that they have to liquidate all of that. The same in January 1st. We usually go out, we buy a lot of stuff. Everything's gonna be Christmas things, but it's for the next year. And you know, you can send it to Amazon and you can sell a little bit during the year. But a lot of stuff is going to be mostly for the next year. And if you have space, if you have, you know, where to store stuff, that's one of the things that a lot of people do. They just buy the next day after the holiday finish, and they just hold it for next year. So I know Raul was asking about holding, and that's one thing that you can do. Of course, now we don't have that big, you know, the big store for toys. Toys R Us, which was one of the biggest stores for, you know, for toys. But you know, you're gonna find a lot of different stores where you can actually buy and hold. So you can do that. David says, I'm looking forward to signing up for Just One Dime tomorrow. Awesome, David. Welcome in advance to the Just One Dime family, and we're happy that you're taking that next step and actually joining us.
And we have our links below, right, Alex? So they can just click on that and
yes.
Right
in the description we have the link below, so you can actually see more details. And actually, the membership. One of the things that we did just a few months ago is we recreated everything. You know, we changed all the training and recreated all the training, so everything is new, up to date. Now we have in the community, we have more coaches like Regina, you know, Eric, myself. So we have a lot more support for the community. We're always answering questions, and you know, there's a lot more support and a lot of videos, and you know, a lot of things that we do to be able to support you as a member. So if any of you guys are interested, below in the description there's a link, and you can go and see more details. And of course, you know, we have Seth explaining how everything works, and we'll be very excited to have you as part of the Just One Dime family whenever you guys are ready to jump in and take the next step. Jonathan says, please explain to me what the buy box means, and what does it affect when you're trying to sell the product online, especially on Amazon. You want to explain that part, Regina?
Sure. The buy box actually is the price. I guess the easiest way to explain it is the price that is set, that it shows who's going to be the next one in line, whose product is going to sell next. Let's say if you have 4 or 5 sellers selling the same product. If all the 4 or 5 sellers are at the exact same price, they'll take turns, one or the other. So they'll each get that buy box price, one after the other. Now, if you have someone that has the price of an item set at 70 and somebody has it set at $40, there's a big difference in price there. The lower price is going to get the buy box. Usually they're all FBA, but it may not always be. Maybe some FBM people that have the buy box as well. So a lot of it's dependent upon pricing. Amazon wants their customers to get the item for the best price they can. And I see they're changing a lot of their algorithms and metrics, trying to make that happen. And that's why FBM also gets in there as well. Before it wasn't quite as common. So yeah, so you could have your buy box for you, then it goes to the next person. If there's big price difference, you could hold on to the buy box as long as there's not a big competition for the same price until you sell yours out. There are times when there's nobody that has a buy box price because the prices are all over the place. There's 20, 50, 70, and so you'll have difference, a big spread of prices. So nobody has the buy box as well. And so all of it sort of happens. But as far as what it means is it actually shows who it is that's getting the product, but it shows that Amazon likes what you're doing, I guess is a good way to say it, because now they've given you that opportunity to be in the buy box, which is then letting people know if they're just searching for a purple cow that's a stuffed animal, then it's going to come to you because you're the one that's got the best as far as price goes and just your health history and your account.
Right.
So,
and you can see it if you go to Amazon and whenever you're buying, when you click the add to cart button, that's actually the buy box, and whoever has that buy box is the one that is getting the sale on your cell phone. Also, when you're looking for an item and you click the add to cart button and then you go to checkout, whoever had that buy box is the one that is getting the sale. So we always want to be able to compete to be able to get the buy box. But sometimes, like Regina said, sometimes it's going to be pricing. It's a big factor, but there's also other factors that are going to, allow you to have that buy box. And what we want to do is we want to be able to be competitive, so we can get the buy box often. And sometimes you get the buy box, every day or every other day. Sometimes, depending on how many sales are is that product getting, you might get the buy box a few times a day or several times a day. But we all want to be on the buy box.
Yeah.
Ollie says, good morning. I bought 2 Disney action figures in March. Amazon will not sell it without a letter of permission from Disney. How do I go about getting it? Yes. And it goes back to there's some products that are gated, meaning we cannot sell, and there's some brands that are gated. So, for example, in this case, Disney is a brand that it's gonna require you to be one of their authorized resellers. So, in order to get that authorization letter, you really have to go through a lot of a long process. You're gonna need to be able to either work with an authorized distributor and be buying directly from them, or you need to get that letter straight from Disney. Usually, there's going to be companies that are going to go through that process and actually get approved. Usually, for arbitrage, the way we do it, we don't want to go through that process if we only have 2 items and we're going to be able to sell 2 items. So what we do before we buy the product is we want to make sure we're allowed to sell that product on Amazon. So that's why we always check restrictions when we're buying the products. If that product has any restriction, we just keep it and go to the next one. In this case, it's going to be very hard for you. I don't know, where are you at in your business and how big are you as a seller? But the only way is going to be one way is going to be to sell, buy directly from an authorized distributor, or get that letter straight from Disney, which is going to be a little bit hard if you're not a big seller. Raul says, a lot of people is talking about IP complaints for arbitrage. What do you think about it? IP complaints, in my experience for 3 years, it's always been there. Brands are gonna protect their products, and they're gonna protect their products against people that are selling, fakes or or selling their intellectual property, and they're not authorized. So there's always gonna be IP complaints. I've had IP complaints for a few times before. In the last maybe 6 months to a year, it's been talked a lot more, because a lot more brands are taking more actions, and they want to make sure that you're selling authentic items and a lot of the things like that. So they're actually complaining to Amazon that people are selling their intellectual property. So one of the things that I've been able to learn through this process, and just buying and selling a lot of items on Amazon, is that Amazon, in order for a brand to be able to complain to Amazon, to be able to protect their products on Amazon, they have to be registered as a brand, as a company on Amazon. So they have to have a brand registry on Amazon. That's the only way that they can protect their product. If a brand don't have that protection on Amazon, they're gonna try to complain about you, but you can actually fight that, because as long as you're buying a product from an authorized or how do you say it, from a company like a retail store like Walmart, they're genuine companies. As long as you can prove that you're buying your product from a company like a retail store, Amazon is gonna, if you get an IP complaint, they're gonna take it off your account. But if you're not able to prove to them and give receipts and all of that, and explain to them that where you purchased that product, then you're gonna get in trouble and you might get your account suspended. The only issue with Amazon is that sometimes when they get that complaint from the company, they will suspend your account until you prove to them that you bought it from a legitimate company. So your account might get suspended for a few days until you prove that. So a lot of people, they don't like it, because they will get their account suspended for an IP complaint. They have to kind of go through that process. One thing that you can do now is, because all these brands are sending letters telling people you cannot sell this product, or we're gonna generate a claim on Amazon. If you get a complaint, or if you get a letter of cease and desist from a brand, the first thing that you want to do is you want to call Amazon and figure out if you're able to sell, or if you're approved to sell that product. If you are, then you can go back to the company and let them know, I don't have any issues with Amazon, because I already confirmed with them that I'm able to sell this product, and they have to go and register their brand to Amazon. Of course, I've got a few I got a few letters, and I'm not gonna tell them what to do, because that should be their job. They should be able to do that. But I always tell them, I already confirmed with Amazon, and you guys have to take it to Amazon. And if they do an IP complaint, then I can I have to prove to Amazon that way. But that issue is just being a lot more now, because a lot more people are talking about that now, because these companies are actually pursuing sellers more heavy. But it's always been there. In the last 3 years, it's been I've had issues like that. So all you have to do is make sure that you can sell it with Amazon, and if they confirm that you can sell it, then you'll be able to prove. If anybody gives you an IP complaint, you should be able to prove that you're buying it from a legitimate company.
Yeah, I'll add to that too, because I actually have an IP complaint right now that I'm dealing with. Mm-hmm. That first Amazon let me know, and then the very next day I got it from the attorney, and I wrote back and I said, well, I purchased this from a company that bought it from the actual owner, because the owner liquidated some of their products, so I'm selling them, and I should not have a problem with that. I have a receipt. It's the actual product, because they were basically telling me, but you went overseas, you're manufacturing a fake product. I said, no, I actually bought the actual product from the owner, and now I'm reselling it. So we've gone back and forth a couple of times. I've emailed him twice, the lawyer, and I've not received a response back, because I sort of laid out the facts to them. So I guess maybe I I can only follow up so many times and nobody said anything yet. So
Yeah, it's we had an issue with one of our members last week where the company sent them a letter, cease and desist letter. It was very aggressive. So he contacted Amazon. He said, they're actually threatened me that if I don't do this, they're gonna sue me and all of that. I just want to make sure that you guys are okay with me selling this product. And they said, yeah, they're not registered on Amazon, so they don't. There's no way for them to protect their product. We have that first doctrine law that allow us to resell any products as long as we're buying from a legitimate source. So we're okay with us. So he went back and he contacted the company and told them, I don't have any issues with Amazon. You can take it to Amazon if you want to protect your products. And they didn't respond anymore because they know, whoever gets scared of them and then they pull their products and they don't sell them anymore, that's a win for them. But whoever knows the law and they actually can respond logically to them, and they see that they're still gonna try to complain to Amazon, but you can kind of fight it because you know that you're doing it the right way, and you just have to know what to do whenever you get a letter of IP complaint or a letter of cease and desist. And somebody was mentioning here you can use the IP alert app to prevent that. But if you think about it, that's just a database of people of companies that have filed IP complaints to Amazon, and that might be 70% of the brands out there that have claimed IP complaints. So I'm not gonna stop selling anything just because they're complaining to Amazon, because I know that I'm buying it from a good source. So I don't use that. For example, when that tool came up, I bought it and I downloaded it and I started using it. And 99% of my products have IP complaints. So I will get that red alert saying this brand has filed an IP complaint on Amazon, and I was like, does that mean I cannot sell anything then? So I stopped using it because for the last 3 years I've been selling and I've been getting IP complaints and I can fight them. So it's just, for me, it's just knowing what to do whenever you get into that situation, and hopefully we have told you what to do and how to solve that in the future.
And Asla asked an extra question in addition to that. He says, what is the risk that a company actually suing you for selling their products on Amazon? I mean, they'll contact the attorney, sort of what I was talking about. If you find out that you've actually bought a false product, and it's not their actual product, and if they don't want you even selling their actual product, yeah, they can still try and sue you. But there's a difference between trying to sue you because you manufactured a fake product versus you actually bought their real product and you're reselling it. There's a big difference between the two. The reselling part, you at least have some protection. You can do that, especially if you can show that you actually bought it from a regular store or vendor. The other one, you don't have much protection at all.
Yeah. I have a friend of mine that he's selling about $1 million a year on Amazon. He got sued by a company for $5 million. I think it was at the beginning of last year or 2 years ago, but it's been about a year and a half ago. He actually followed through the whole process. He went to the court, did everything, brought everything to the judge. It was a $5 million suit, and when they explained everything to the judge, he gave him a $1 penalty, and that was it. The company they told the company they cannot do anything, and they fined my friend for $1 for a $5 million suit. So of course these are extreme situations, and I only know about this one person that has kind of followed through everything, and he was very scared. And he said, I'm gonna have to go to jail, because if they give me like, $100,000 fine or whatever, I don't have all that money, so I'm just gonna have to go to jail. And the judge said, no, that, I don't understand the point here. That he's selling something that he bought from here, and these are the receipts, and he gets a $1 fine for doing that. And of course, he's not selling that brand anymore on Amazon, but they didn't get away with that. So there's gonna be brands that are gonna sue and everything, but I haven't heard a lot of people getting sued. It's just the process that these companies are doing to protect their product, and of course, they are allowed to protect their product. But I think a better way should be getting into Amazon, registering their brand and then protecting the products that way. And a lot of people, a lot of companies, they either don't know how to do it, or they don't want to go through that process. So we just have
the great part about Just One Dime is that we're talking about arbitrage today. We also have a private label membership as well, that you can learn all about how to build your own products and how to establish them and sell them. So we actually have 2 different memberships.
Yes, and it's just I always say the only thing you do is you need to learn what to do in these cases, because there's a lot of things happening. There's a lot of things going on with Amazon, with other brands, with different things, and the best thing to do is just know what to do in these situations. And I think that's why we're always inviting you guys to join our memberships, because inside the membership, there's a lot more training, a lot more in-depth training on these situations, and how to do a proper Amazon business, and how to build a proper Amazon business for either private label or arbitrage. So if you guys want to learn a little bit more about that, you can click on the link below in the description, and we'll have all the details there. So I'm going to answer just 1 or 2 more questions. I know we're running out of time, and I want to respect all of you guys' time and Regina's time. So I'm going to answer a few more questions, and then we're going to finish the stream. But also we are doing these arbitrage Q&As every Saturday at noon Central Standard Time. So if you guys want to come back and keep asking questions, of course we'll be here to help you out. And then if you want to get more if we want us to answer your questions every day, you can join us, and we have a community where we answer questions every day. So Emo says, is there a free software to use other than Keepa for tracking the sales history? You can use Helium 10. They have an app where you can see the sales history. I haven't used it a lot because I'm very used to Keepa, and I think Keepa is one of the best tools for tracking the sales history, the ranks and everything. But you might want to check Helium 10, the Chrome extension. It's a free extension, and see if that helps you. But if not, I think Keepa is going to be the best tool. And for me, it's worth, as part of my business, it's worth paying that subscription every month, because it actually saves me a lot of time and a lot of money, because I'm not end up buying something that is not going to sell. And I think it should be one of the tools that you have, and pay their monthly fee, because it's part of the business. And then Salima says, if you sell used products on Amazon, do you need receipts? The products that I have sold before, I haven't had receipts. Usually it's products that I purchased, long time ago, and I don't, I just want to sell them. I don't think Amazon is going to give you any issues. But if that's your model, if that's the business model that you're going to be doing, selling like liquidation items or used items, you should be able to, I think you should think about having receipts from wherever you buy the product, because the problem is not having the receipts. The problem is if somebody complains about that, Amazon is going to request receipts from you. So if you don't have receipts and you're just selling one item, that might be okay. But if you're selling, a few hundred or thousands of items every month, and everything is used, somebody might complain about your products, and Amazon is gonna request receipts. So I would say if you're gonna go to the use model, a business model, you wanna be protected and have receipts from wherever you're buying that product. I don't know. What do you think about that, Regina?
Same thing. When I've had some used products, I didn't have a receipt unless I bought it from a store and I just sold it as used because the box was damaged, or like what I was talking about earlier. Then I would have a receipt. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, thank you guys for being here today. Thank you for joining us, and I hope we were able to answer all of your questions. And if we didn't get to answer your questions, come back next Saturday. Hopefully, we'll have Eric back, and we'll probably have Regina or any other of our coaches here, and just let us know if you have any other questions on the next Q&A. And I hope that you guys have a great weekend, and I hope you have a great weekend, Regina, and I'll see you in the next video.
All right. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Take care, guys. Let me see. Of course, if I can make my mouse work, I can finish the transmission. Bye-bye.